few festive fixture changes for West Ham United, including Brentford game now on Friday night. It was 3 PM on Saturday, but who wants that traditional kick-off time? It's been moved to the Friday evening. Now I know what you're thinking, well that means we're on telly, don't it, Gio? Incorrect, we're not on TV, but it's been moved anyway. Boxing Day, Arsenal against West Ham United, now the 8 o'clock kick-off. Who wants to go to a game at 8 o'clock on Boxing Day? I know quite a few people that used to go to Boxing Day games. It was their tradition. They'd go with their dad when they were growing up, and now they go with their kids. They go to the Boxing Day game. It's a bit less in recent times since moving to the London Stadium. We don't tend to get home games on Boxing Day, but regardless, the video's not about that. I mean, it's still a whingy video, but it's about how fans are treated, and this is just yet another reminder. Now, it's nothing new. The way that fans are treated is nothing new, but it's just another reminder. Getting to games on Boxing Day is already difficult. Getting to games or getting home from games at 10 o'clock on a normal day is already difficult enough. But when you combine the two, it's going to be impossible for a lot of fans. What? I just don't get it. Like I said, the people I know go to the games. I've never heard anyone say, oh, I wish it was an 8 o'clock kickoff on Boxing Day. I've never heard that. And it's just disgraceful, actually, that is a fixture, that is an actual slot, that the broadcasters have said to the Premier League, we'd like to have one of your games at 8 o'clock on Boxing Day, and the Premier League have turned around and went, yeah, no worries, you crack on with that. That sounds like a good idea. Why this is I really say I don't know why it's allowed. I do know why it's allowed. It's money. But naive me thought during COVID that not a complete reset. I never ever thought they'd completely reset their thinking and their treatment of the match-going fan. I never thought that, but I hope there'd be a mini one where actually during COVID, when the stands were empty, when there was no match day going fan, and we heard these clubs say, well, times are tough because there's nobody coming in through the turnstiles. I just hoped that maybe post-COVID the treatment of fans would be a little bit better, a little bit more considerate. Nothing significant, just a little bit better. Not having an 8 o'clock kickoff on a Boxing Day would be a small start. But it's just a reminder that actually you are taken for granted. I mean, to some extent you are. Because those Arsenal fans that won't go on Boxing Day because of transport issues, or just because it's Boxing Day, for whatever reason, they're not going to go. The club's already got their money. The season ticket holders, this is. They've already got their money for that fixture. They're not that bothered if they don't go. West Ham will still sell out that away end, despite the awkward kick-off time, despite it being on Boxing Day. West Ham will still sell all their tickets for the away end at the Emirates. So all the money will still be getting pumped in to the clubs involved, despite how ridiculous this kick-off time is. And it almost allows these clubs to take the fans for granted, but it doesn't mean they should. And this is where I have an issue, because in the last 2 or 3 weeks there's been reminder after reminder after reminder from me of just how insignificant the matchday and fans' thoughts and opinions, logistics actually are. We're just a small cog in the machine, and you just get a reminder now and again. Like I said, in the last couple of weeks there's been quite a few for me, and it's given me the ump, as you can possibly tell. And one of my friends texted me a couple of days ago saying, I demand a video about the fixture changes, and I was thinking I'll maybe do that actually, and I thought, do you know what I am, because there's more than just that that's irritating me. So here I am. You've got Whingy Gio for the next 10 minutes. Now we're going to move away from West Ham for a minute. HelloFresh has arrived complete with all the ingredients I need for my meals this week. It's Monday night, it's 6 o'clock, which means West Ham kick off in 2 hours against Bournemouth. I'm still feeling a 2-0 win. I need to be upstairs in about 40 minutes to get ready for the video, so this is the perfect night for HelloFresh. Now, one thing you might not know is I quite enjoy cooking. I find it relaxing, quite therapeutic actually. But one thing you may know, as I've mentioned a couple of times, is I don't like ready meals. I don't like using the microwave. So this is why HelloFresh is perfect for me on nights like tonight. So tonight, we're going to be cooking the super fast Thai-inspired pork noodles. And on the recipe there, which is really easy to follow, you can see the number 3 there. And that correlates to your bag. There it is, the number 3 there. I've already opened it. You go online, you order your food, it arrives at your door, and then you pick up your recipe. It tells you what number your recipe is. You get the bag of ingredients for that number, and you get cooking. Happy days. Less than 20 minutes is going to take for me to make this. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. The cooking, we've got the recipe there, easy to follow, and we've also got final touches to the sauce, which shall be combined with the pan in just a second. And go the noodles. The finished article. genuinely really good, actually. It's really, really nice. 20 minutes. How effortless and convenient is that? I'm getting your ingredients out, we sat down at the table. Perfect. Just what I need for tonight. Also, team users just come out. Saeed Benrahma in ahead of Pablo Fornals, which I'm really happy about, actually. I'm sticking with my 2-0 prediction, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident about beating Bournemouth. Good team, good meal, and there's only one thing that can make it a little bit better. A nice cold glass of Iron Brew to wash it down. You recognise where I am now, don't you? I've still got my Iron Brew with me, don't worry. But if you fancy getting a bit of HelloFresh, you can head over there. The link is in the description below. And use the code HammersChat. You'll get 50% off your first box, 35% off your next 3 boxes, and 3 free gifts as well. So please do go head on over there, check them out. You can adjust how much meals you get per week and how many weeks you wish to order for as well. It's really, really helpful. Go and have a look, and if you do decide to give it a go, use the code HammersChat to save yourself a little bit of money. Get HelloFresh to save yourself a little bit of hassle and a little bit of time when cooking those meals as well. Genuinely, really enjoyable. Anyway, going live in about 5 minutes, so I'll catch up with you then. And we're going to discuss Man United. Now I know what you think. Why are you doing Man United on a West Ham channel? But it's just another reminder of just how it doesn't really matter what you think as a football fan. As somebody that goes to games, doesn't matter what you think. This is how it is. Because 2 weeks ago, Man United played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Their way-in was sold out, happy days. And then with 15 days notice, the fixture got moved from a Sunday game to the 5:30 slot on the Saturday evening because of Chelsea's involvement in the Champions League. And as a consequence, the police put restrictions in place, which meant Man United couldn't sell all their tickets. The problem was, they'd already sold all their tickets. The full allocation was already done and dusted. Man United fans had bought up their tickets. They'd booked their transport, they'd booked their hotels, etc, etc. The fans had spent their money. They were ready to go in 2 weeks' time to Stamford Bridge. No, said the police. No, said the Premier League. 600 of you, 600. They had a reduced allocation because of the kick-off time. Now the police said 4:45 is the latest kick-off time they're willing to accept for the full allocation. But because it's 5:30, 45 minutes later, Man United had to hand back 600 tickets. Therefore, Man United had to decide which 600 fans missed out. Which 600 fans, as I said, had already committed financially. Some people may have taken time off work, booked holidays. You only get a limited amount of holidays a year. Some fans will have taken time off work. Now, I know there's a lot of people listening with jokes already made up about Man United fans already living in London and so on and so forth. I get it, but the point is, with 15 days notice, the fixture got moved and 600 people who'd already committed to going were told they could no longer go. That's disgraceful, in my opinion. That should not be allowed. And this is where you discover the priorities. What is the number one priority? Is TV revenue. Who has the bigger say? Well, policing has a bigger say over the football clubs. To some extent, I understand, okay? But then when you see the policing towards other things in society, you do struggle to sort of not believe that the football fan is treated differently to a lot of other things that happen in life. Now, I don't want to get into that, okay? I'm trying to keep this sort of political free, if you like, and keep it about the treatment of the fans. But I felt sorry for Man United fans a couple of weeks ago. Now, I have absolutely no reason to like Man United or anything like that. But when that came out, I just thought, that is too far. It is too far. And all this season, we've had to endure a lot of train strikes, a lot of train maintenance. The trains in this country at the minute are a little bit of a shambles. And again, I'm not attacking the people that are protesting and striking or anything like that. I'm staying away from that argument completely. I don't know enough about it, to be honest with you. But the point is, the match-going fan has to endure the domino effect, which is limited trains, or in some cases, no trains. I went to the Wolves game after the international break at the London Stadium. It was a home game. There was no trains, none. So everybody had to drive. So that created other pressures because everybody was driving to the same place at the same time. You know, not everybody was driving, but I don't know, say 20,000, a third of the fans maybe, 20,000 people taking private transport instead of public transport to the game. It created a lot of pressure on that area in Stratford. The delays were enormous. It took us over an hour to travel 2 miles getting into London. And the fans put up with this because of your loyalty to that football club. And this is what they just take for granted. This is what they prey on. They need this. They need you to be committed to your club. They need you to be committed to going to the football. Now, the football should be a break from life. It should be 90 minutes where actually you don't have to worry about your energy bills, your shopping costs. Heating or eating is the decision a lot of people are facing this winter, and they shouldn't have to face that decision, but they are. But for 90 minutes you can forget about that. You can just focus on the football. It's an escape from reality, really. I'm certainly speaking from personal experience here, but certainly in years gone by where times ain't great and you're having a difficult time, actually the football comes along and it's just a nice distraction. You're able to force your emotions into something else, and that is what keeps people going to football. And that is what the Premier League take massive advantage of. We've had reminders of in the last 2 weeks with Man United. Like I said, the trains going, not going, the fixture changes is just a joke at the minute. And the funny thing is, actually, before I get on to the contradictory thing, 13 days late. The Premier League, at the start of the season, Premier League put up their dates. This is when the TV fixtures, so the TV fixtures for sort of December and January were due to come out on a certain date. They were released 13 days late. They can't even publish the changes to your fixtures in time. 2 weeks late. Fans are waiting. Fans are waiting to book hotels. They're waiting to book trains. They're waiting for this official announcement to come out. 13 days late. And that's with the pressure. I've seen all the supporters' trusts, whether it's a Chelsea one, the West Ham one, the Tottenham one. I've seen all the supporters' trusts from the Premier League clubs constantly, publicly calling out the Premier League, Sky Sports, BT Sports, Amazon, saying, come on then, put your fixtures out. Fans are waiting for this information. Get it out there. 13 days late. And when they came out, half the fixtures are missing. They haven't even got the second half of January yet. They're still to be announced. There's still more changes coming to the fixture list. But you and I, the people who want to go to the games, tough. You can wait. You can wait 13 days. And we all know, people that book trains, etc. We all know how significant a 13-day delay can be when you're trying to plan stuff, when you're trying to book stuff, financially as well as logistically. It has serious consequences. But once again, I mean, like I said, while I hate the fact that the West Ham game's on Boxing Day, now I'm not going to pretend I was going to go and I can't go now. I was never going to that fixture. But a lot of people were planning to go, can't now. But let's just accept that, just for 20 seconds, accept the fixture being moved to 8 p.m. on Boxing Day, right? Let's just accept it. It's 13 days late. Even if you're unhappy with the fixtures, you can't, surely the one thing you can't be happy with is the fact that the announcement's 13 days late and some of the fixtures are missing. There is errors. There's human mistakes, that's fine. But then there's just taking the piss. And this is very much taking the piss. Now, I'm going to get on to something I find almost contradictory a little bit. And that is where football is heading. And that's a Netflix-style broadcasting football service for people in their homes. Now, whether it's pay-per-view, whether you pay for a season ticket and you get all the league games of that team only, or you get all the Premier League games, I don't know how they're going to do it. But it feels inevitable that this is eventually coming, that something eventually will give in future. Now, it could be a few years off, but certainly the news in the last month, they're discussing it about the English Football League, not the Premier League. Okay, I'm going to have to accept that this is going to sort of defeat some points in my argument here, because I'm moaning about the Premier League, and at the minute they're discussing about the English Football League, the other 72 teams. And they've had examples in the past, especially during COVID, when that fans of those clubs could watch every game on a pay-per-view basis. So they've already dipped their toe in the market, but the discussion seemed to be back on the table as to how they're going to do it. However, one of the biggest reasons they've always given for not pursuing this, for not allowing the 3 p.m. Premier League games to be broadcast on a Saturday afternoon, is because it will impact the attendances of the lower league clubs. That somebody may stay at home to watch Aston Villa v Everton at 3 p.m. on Netflix rather than going to their local League 2 or National League game. Right, okay, that's the example that they've given. But I just find it contradictory. The reason they don't want to pursue doing this sort of access all game streaming is because they don't want to impact attendances. Yet what they're doing, as already discussed in this video, is potentially impacting attendances. What they don't want to do is enhance the viewer's experience at home. Now, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with this, by the way, but ultimately that's what this would be leading to. This Access All Games streaming would be enhancing the Armchair's fan experience. They don't want to do that though, because it'll impact the matchday going fans' experience. Yet with West Ham in particular, they're happy to move a game to 8 o'clock on Boxing Day to enhance the viewer at home, to enhance their experience, so you can access that game at 8 o'clock on Boxing Day. I'm sure the viewing figures for that fixture, by the way, will be fantastic. 8 o'clock on a Boxing Day, sat down watching a Premier League game. It sounds really, really good. Do you know something? I kind of get why they've done it. Well, I do get why they've done it, for broadcasting reasons. For reasons that's going to pull in a lot of viewers. A lot of people will watch that Arsenal-West Ham game now. But what they do is they just don't care about the people trying to get to the game. Yet when they're dismissing the idea of streaming more games more regularly, getting rid of that 3 PM blackout on a Saturday, oh no, you can't do that. You can't enhance the Armchair fans' experience because there are people going to the game. And I just find it contradictory. What are you trying to do here? And this is where, like I said, my argument falls down quite a lot actually, because I'm moaning about the Premier League thing, whereas they're trying to protect the English Football League. It's two different leagues, it's two different setups. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to protect that one. But it feels inevitable. Eventually, we will go down that route. That, like I said, it could be years and years away. And imagine the lower league football will get theirs prior, and then the Premier League may follow the model once they've discovered the pros and cons of whatever they're doing at English Football League level. And the Premier League will take the good stuff and they will run with it. They'll take the best practices and say, right, okay, we know what works, we know what doesn't work. We are going to build our model now. And I just hope that eventually, when that happens, while they're trying to enhance the Armchair's fans' experience, I just hope the domino effect enhances the matchday's experience as well, which means less ridiculous kickoff times, because there'd be no need for it. There would be no need for an 8 o'clock Boxing Day game if all games kicked off at 3 o'clock and all games were available on streaming services. And this is where, ironically, the more broadcasting could potentially help the matchday going fan. But at the minute, it's that fans that are missing out. The bread and butter fans, the ones that plough most money into the football club, the most time into the football club, they're the ones that are being impacted the most at the minute. And that doesn't sit well with me. Now, like I said, I feel a little bit hypocritical sat here discussing this, because this season I'm not going to many games because of financial reasons. I've only been to a couple. I've gone to the Leicester one, and I don't know what my next one will be once the teams come back from the World Cup. I'm unsure where my next fixture will be, so I do feel a little bit hypocritical discussing this. But I don't think you have to go to every single game in order to be annoyed and frustrated at the treatment of those fans that do attend every single game. And that's what this video is about, really. Like I said, I wasn't going to cover it, and then one of my friends messaged saying, I demand a video. And he just said he was pissed off with the fixture being moved, and he's somebody that was probably going to be going to the Arsenal-West Ham game and possibly isn't now because of transport. But it's also left him questioning things, which is, I'm getting a bit sick of this actually. I'm getting a bit sick of the treatment. But I guess this is a problem. If he stopped going, is it a big deal? Not really. It's a big deal to him. It's a big deal to me, and a lot of you listening will think that doesn't sit well with me. I don't like that. But is it a big deal to BT and Sky and Amazon? Not really. Is it a big deal to West Ham? Not really. Is it a big deal to the Premier League? Not really. And this is what frustrates me the most, that you do get this vibe of we don't care. We're going to do what's best for those that pay the most. And that ain't my friend who pays £30 for his Arsenal-West Ham ticket. It's not him. It's the broadcasters that will pay hundreds of thousands for that fixture broadcast at 8 PM on Boxing Day. So what's the priorities? At the minute, it's broadcasters. And that, while it's been that way for a long, long time, this is nothing new. I'm well aware of that. But just now and again, stuff happens. And when I say stuff, it's never just one isolated thing. There's a few things in a small space of time that just gets me a little bit frustrated. And it's just reminders after reminders after reminders that actually, to some extent, you, individually, one person, you don't matter. You don't make that much difference anymore. So when they gave it all that during COVID, and like I said, naively, I hope this changes the attitude going forward. I hope now clubs have realised how important the person coming through that turnstile actually is. But it's post-COVID, you haven't really got that feeling, have you? And the longer we get away from that period, the longer that you forget about those messages you had from the club about how important your money was to your club, the further away you get. Talking today now, actually, I certainly feel a little bit silly for thinking that perhaps they would have changed it, because they've changed nothing. If anything, arguably, it's getting worse. Anyway, sorry for the ranty video, but at the ump. Double upload today though, so there's another video up later tonight. So this is the first video during the day. Later on tonight will be another video. I'll record that in a couple of hours time. If you enjoyed this video though, please do drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll catch you this evening hopefully.